want to thank Brian for setting such a grim backdrop at the beginning, because it plays into what I actually feel strongly is creating a huge opportunity for us as participants in the gold sector. And you know, I was watching with a lot of interest my peers here who presented before you. I think, Brian, what you've done is you've set the tone. You're showing investors how to separate the wheat from the chaff, and the kind of environment that we're in with the volatility that we're seeing in the gold price and just generally in the markets. You know, it forces people to sharpen their pencils and to take a look at, you know, what good assets are, who the strong management teams are, and then also which companies are in a position to deliver when that rip your face off rally, you know, materializes. So I'm also going to be making some forward-looking statements because I'm looking forward to being here when Brian says, "Holy cow, look at where we've come on the gold price in the gold sector." So we'll be we'll be making statements that take us to that place. But please visit our website and read some of these statements with some more time. We've set up a simple slide. It's, you know, an old school slide that talks about, you know, basically why gold Terra. This is a company that has been around for a while, and Brian, you've been talking about us and covering us, and we've been to your shows. You know, in the previous iteration, that was Terra X. We changed the name, but kept the word Terra because we want to make sure that everybody understands that we don't throw the baby away with the bathwater. We're focused on gold, not X. And, you know, with that, we've bolstered the team, brought a lot of energy. We're well financed, and we're currently drilling on a great target. So let me jump straight into it. We're in a great jurisdiction in Canada. And not only are we in a great jurisdiction, but we're smack in the heart of a highly prolific historic gold camp, generated over 14 million ounces of high-grade gold. And we're right next door to the city that was host to that. Great mining history in Yellowknife, wonderful people, great culture. We're very well aligned with all of our stakeholders. And so we're chasing high-grade gold mineralization. You know, we want to make sure that being on the doorstep of that 14 million ounces, we can deliver shareholders that next discovery, you know, that next mine in the camp. And so we're squarely focused on that. We've got a resource. Our resource is calculated at a very conservative gold price, $1,300, 735,000 ounces between a couple of deposits. And we plan to build on that. And in fact, our plans are to come out with the resource update very shortly and also start delivering assay results from our flagship target, the Campbell Shear. So here we are, Yellowknife, 14 million ounce historic district. This was put together quietly in a period where nobody was looking and nobody cared. And all of a sudden, we find ourselves with a beautiful, nearly 800 square kilometer district with 70 kilometers of strike on a Archean greenstone belt, very similar to what you'd see in Timmins. What's dissimilar is that there's one player here, and that's us. The project is really, as you can see here, surrounding the city of Yellowknife. And what's significant about that is you've got roads, you've got power, you've got water, you've got all the infrastructure. And also Yellowknife is the hub for the broader mining operations that are carried out in the Canadian North. So some of the diamond mines. So with all of that, we have access to a lot of skilled labor. We also have access to a lot of equipment, which goes in and out of the city. So here we are. We've got between the four deposits, you can see the yellow stars there, about 735,000 ounces, which we drilled last year on two of those deposits at Sam Otto and Christorum, approximately 20,000 meters to add to the resource, which we'll update shortly. And then, of course, we're now drilling on the Campbell Shear, which is the southern extension of the Con mine, the historic Con mine, which closed in the early 2000s. Certainly a very prolific mine, produced over 5 million ounces from this structure called the Campbell Shear. And since we've made some management additions and we brought new energy. Our new chairman, Gerald Panaton, made it his mission to strike a deal with Newmont, who owns the old and now rehabilitated Con Mine, to option land that we believe is, has high potential to be the extension of that previous production at the Campbell Shear. So it's been a busy year for us, or 2020 was a busy year for us. We raised money, we optioned ground, we continue to add to our team, and we find ourselves here with a slew of catalysts, fully funded to now drill 20,000 meters in 2021 on the Campbell Shear, come out with a resource update, and to continue to add to our team. So why is the Campbell Shear a high priority target? Why have we moved our focus to this and why do we call it our best bet, so to speak? Simply because, as I said, it's on the southern extension of the Con Mine, which produced over 6 million ounces from, as you can see on the section on the right, the green picture A to B. You can see that there was the Con Shear, which was the original showing, which was mined 1 million ounces at very high grades. And then eventually the larger Campbell Shear, which was 5 million ounces at about 15 or 16 grams a ton. That's half an ounce for our American friends who have vaccines. The Campbell Shear was very underexplored, relatively speaking, compared to other camps. The mine geologists really just kept on expanding the mine in a very sort of mine geologist way. And there wasn't a lot of major step out drilling, but there is certainly some historical data from the 1960s that we're following up on. For example, we put out a news release last year where we talked about a drill hole called KA06 to the south of this frame that was 8 grams over 8 meters. And it was never followed up. So it's data like that we're chasing. We've set out to drill 10,000 meters. We started that actually in November. We're well into it now. And having just financed, we've added the ability to drill another 10,000 meters for a total of 20. And none of the assays from this drilling is out in the market yet. It is slowly filtering back to us, and I expect that we'll be able to deliver those results very soon. So the reason why we're excited, and I think, not to make it too technical for the viewers, the reason I like this slide, and I'm not a geologist, I come from capital markets, and I've got a lot of experience looking at pictures and listening to management teams and trying to figure out, okay, do I buy this or do I not buy this? I personally buy this because if I look at this long section and I look at the footprint of this 5 million ounces of production that you can see to the right of the yellow hash line there. That's the 5 million ounces that you saw on the previous slide. It's a footprint that's, call it 1.5 kilometers by 1.5 kilometers underground. And then if you look to the left of the hash marks into the area that we're focused on, you can see that there are 2 small deposits, the Cam Point zone and the Yellow Wreck zone. Both of which show some indications that, this Campbell Shear footprint may, present itself closer to the surface on the ground that we've optioned. And so we've set out to design a plan whereby we're going to drill a box. And I just want to keep this really simple for the audience and I guess for myself. This box shows the audience that we want to drill, approximately, let's say for now, 10 holes in this red box of phase 1 drilling, 2021. And if I look at the size of that, and I make the assumption that based on this historic drilling, we're going to have some success, then I get really excited very quickly. You can see how, if these structures continue to the south of that yellow hash mark line, you start to compare the size of that footprint to the size of the footprint that we might drill in phase 1 and then eventually in phase 2 upon examining the results. you can see how we could make some headway really fast, and why we're very excited to follow up on this historic data. It's a very important aspect of the story to mention that in order to be successful, yes, we're drilling. Yes, we've optioned great ground. We've got a resource. We drilled to expand that resource. We're funded to do all of this. That's all great. It's really important to have a great management team in order to give investors the impression that all of this will actually go somewhere. So we're currently led, our vision and our energy comes to a large degree from Gerald Paneton. He was the founder of Detour Gold, also spent many years working for Barrick. He brought with him Louis Dion, who's a mining engineer with a tremendous track record. Many of the industry people that we speak to are absolutely thrilled that he's involved with us, because we're one of these exploration companies that doesn't have to go around saying we're just trying to find the gold to sell ourselves. We could either position ourselves to build a mine or to sell it. We're all shareholders in a large way, and we also want to make sure that we get the most for our investment. So whether that's building it or selling it, we're prepared to do both. Joe Campbell is the founder of the company. He was the one who put all of this together. Kudos to him. And Joe runs our technical team. He's based out of Ottawa, and currently our team is in Yellowknife with working under his direction. So very happy for the opportunity to be part of this team. As I said, I come from financial services background. I worked on sales and trading desks and raised money for mining and resource companies in general. I saw this opportunity and I jumped on it. It ticks all the boxes. You know, we're in Canada, we're next to town. There's huge high grade potential. And now we're poised and funded to deliver drill results through what, you know, is for now some volatility, but we certainly believe that we're going into a very, very heady and bullish gold price environment. And we're going to give the market all kinds of opportunities to leverage that as we go forward here through 2021. At that, I'll just take it quickly to our slide on capital structure and ownership. We've just closed the financing, so our shares outstanding are 8 million more than you see here. We've added $2.8 million to the treasury as of the closing yesterday, and we can also add Mackenzie to our list of major shareholders. We're very proud to have them on board and to have their support. Obviously, we're always looking to strike the right mix of institutional and retail shareholders, and we certainly show that by continuing with very strong marketing efforts. We're always out trying to tell the story, trying to make sure that everybody understands what the value proposition here is. We feel that you know, we've set the table. The restaurant's open. The food smells good. We just need everybody to come out of this COVID malaise and see the opportunity and take advantage of it. So thank you very much for having us. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Brian, and thank you to my peers and Metals Investment Forum. I'll leave it at that.